going to start at the National Assembly, where the government is stepping up efforts to get its multi-billion US dollar supplementary budget through Parliament. The Prime Minister is scheduled to address the Parliament on this very matter in a couple of hours from now, but the deadlock there is casting doubt over whether it will actually go ahead. For more, let's connect to our political correspondent Kim Min-ji, who's standing by for us outside of the National Assembly. So, Min-ji, since last we spoke, have there been any new developments?
Well, Mark, a meeting between the floor leaders of the country's major political parties and the National Assembly Speaker has just ended, but no agreement was reached in normalizing parliamentary affairs. The floor leader of the country's main opposition Liberty Korea party told reporters that no developments have been made on setting the agenda for the April session. So at this point, it's unclear whether the Prime Minister will be able to give his speech as scheduled. We'll have to see whether rival parties can strike a last-minute deal between now and 2 p.m. when the plenary session is scheduled. The National Assembly, as you said, has been at a standstill since the start of the April session, which was last Monday, with rival parties at odds over contentious bills that need to be handled and talks on amending the Constitution. For the past week, rival lawmakers have been playing the blame game. The main opposition Liberty Korea party and the centrist Bareunmirae party have said they won't participate unless the ruling party is willing to make concessions.
So we still don't know whether the Prime Minister will give this speech or not, but if they do manage to hammer out an agreement and the PM goes on to give his policy speech in a couple of hours during this full parliamentary session, what exactly is he likely to emphasise, and what are the prospects for the passage of the extra budget?
Well, the Prime Minister is expected to call on all parties for cooperation for the swift passage of the government's nearly $3.8 billion supplementary budget bill. Now, the speech is expected to last about 30 minutes, and the Prime Minister is likely to address the country's youth unemployment woes, saying the budget is needed to address that issue. He will also stress that the budget will be used to breathe life into ailing regions hit by corporate restructuring. But even if it does go on as scheduled, the passage of the bill itself isn't going to be easy. Opposition parties haven't been fond of the drawing up of the supplementary budget, saying it's only been 3 months since this year's full budget was passed, and they accuse the government and the ruling party of pumping in money to woo voters ahead of the local elections in June. On top of that, this new budget comes less than a year since the government's first extra budget was implemented, with some parties questioning the effectiveness of the extra budget and saying that the impact of the previous supplementary budget has to be first assessed. Now, that's all I have for now. Back to you, Mark.